Hello, all. Oh, I had so many downloads today. So many downloads today. Ooh, I did indeed. Whew, I tell you, energetically, divine God, Most High, He is just working through me, baby. He is indeed. Nobody can tell me otherwise, and it's just one of those things. I'm going to try to cover him. I came to me too that, a part of my purpose, a part of my calling, a part of who I am, how I operate, it comes with people, taking, stealing, narrating, monetizing. And, that's all a part of it. It's all a part of it, because I operate the way that I do and I move the way that I do. It comes with people, monetizing after me and, stealing my ideas or, doing whatever it is on their end that they're doing. Like, people know what they do, but that doesn't bother me. It really doesn't, because I swear I had this like entangled conversation with God and the divine. I was just like, wow, I do see that now. I do see that. That's all a part of it. It's all a part of it, because at the end of the day, it still doesn't take away from my authenticity. It still doesn't take away from me. It doesn't take away from my abundance. It doesn't take away from my spiritual abundance, my spiritual gifts, and who I am. Who I am. It makes no difference to me if people make money off of me. It makes no difference to me if people, narrate stories on the back end to flip it so they can, do whatever it is they need to do on the back end. Like, none of that makes a difference to me. None of that makes a difference to me. And I go by the seat of, I just fly the way that I fly. And I love every bit of it. I had so many conversations today. And in one conversation I had, like, I'm in the era of being best friends with myself. I don't have best friends. I'm so blessed that God has blessed me with the new relationships that I'm creating, every day. And I am beyond blessed for every soul that has, came into crossings with me, and every soul that is a part of my life right now, and every soul that was a part of my life in my past, but I still walk with being best friends with myself, I do not pour into anybody else outside of me more than what I pour into myself, if that makes sense. That's where I'm at in my walk, and that's where I will continuously pour forward for the rest of my life. For the rest of my life. You can't pour into people more than you pour into yourself. It's just it's an unequal ebb and flow, and you're always going to come up short. Right? And so you got to pour into yourself as much as you pour into people, to where you feel good about yourself. Because when you don't feel good about yourself, it comes out of you by the way that you look, by the way that you talk, by the way that your gestures, your mannerisms, like your eyes, I pick up on all of it, you know what I mean? And it's just sad. It's just because people don't feel good about themselves, and it's just the ways of the conditionings of the world. And it's just unfortunate. That's why I don't feed into labels. I don't feed into narcissistic tendencies. I don't feed into any of that. I think everybody is individually who they are, with whatever tendencies they may carry. And they're all divinely orchestrated for them to carry those tendencies. And I wanted to touch on this, okay? It came to me on my way to work today. I have no absolute problem with the elites, with people that have a lot of money, people that have a lot of cars, people that have a lot of houses, people that do whatever it is, that's shop a lot and then return. Like, I do not care. That I have no judgment here. No judgment. Like, if that's what makes you happy, by all means do it. The thing that I say is just, are you doing it with humility? Are you doing it with kindness? Are you giving? Are you being non-judgmental of others? Are you stepping on people to gain the fortunes that you have? You know what I mean? Do you walk with gratitude? Do you walk with feeling grateful? Do you lift a helping hand to those that need it? Do you pay it forward? Those are the things that that matter to me. But what people do with their money, what people have, none of that matters to me. I could care less. I never judge. I love it. I love to see people do whatever makes them happy. And if buying cars, fixing cars, having lots of houses, buying boats, going out on the boat so you don't get interrogated. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Do whatever makes your heart happy. Do whatever makes your heart happy and smile. That's how I look at it. I don't pay mind to that. And, it came up in conversation when I was talking to a coworker. Like, it's very easy for me to get along with absolutely anybody. Absolutely anybody. I can rhythm with anybody. Anybody I can rhythm with you. Like, I can dance with you, baby. I can. And it's because I don't compete with anybody. I don't compete with anybody. I don't feel less than anybody. I absolutely love people for who they are. I compete with myself. I compete with myself. And, I hold them to the highest standard, just like I hold myself to a highest standard. And so it's very simple to get along with everybody, to connect with everybody and not sweat the small stuff. So many people sweat the small stuff when it comes to like different interactions in work and, just general personal life, your loved ones, family, just your relationship, your marriage, whatever. Everybody gets so wrapped up in the small stuff. I don't get wrapped up in the small stuff. I just don't have space in my mind for it. I don't care. Like, stupid things that happen to me, they'll sit, like, it won't even faze me in my mind. It won't even faze me in my mind, especially when it comes to gossiping and all that crap. It's just, it's one of those things, like, I see it all around me. I do. And I listen and I try my best. Again, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect by any means. I try to stay out of it and I just try to listen. And, when people talk to me about certain things that go on between them and their life and whatever interactions and things, I try to always keep it. I don't ever share when I'm in connection with you, when I'm in, conversation with you, when you interact with me, it stays there. It stays there between you and I. I don't go and, create gossip, create narratives, it's just not something. And again, that's all, I've not always been that way. I've not always been that way. This is all the things that God has helped me cultivate during my spiritual awakening with everything that I've walked through and recognizing what it feels like to be on that side of the fence and to be on my side of the fence. And so since I have such a greater, broader understanding when it comes to all different facets of the world and just how the mechanics of it work, I just operate at a different level in my mind. And I know without a doubt that you cannot live in a peaceful reality if you're not at peace with yourself. And the only way to be at peace with yourself is to not create negativity around you. By gossiping, by competing with others, by worrying about what other people have or don't have, worrying about who hangs out with who, or, none of that matters. None of that matters. It really doesn't in the grand scheme of things. Like, at the end of the day, life is so precious. It's so precious. Like, I had a beautiful conversation with this beautiful lady at work today, and she was telling me that she was good. Her sister and her husband were celebrating, I think, their 54th wedding anniversary, and they had a whole, thing planned, an event planned, and he passed away in his sleep. No health issues, a massive heart attack. So now, instead of their wedding anniversary, she's flying out to go to his funeral. His funeral. Look at what these kids went through in the floods. That all could have been avoided. That all could have been avoided if we had true funding, true organization from the top and from the state level. And now you've got lives, kids' lives that those in the Mexican border came over to help. We're so worried about the borders, and yes, I get that too, but we have to see the big picture here. The big picture here, and we're just not getting it. Are we still talking about this? That's where we're at, and it's frustrating. That said though, like having that conversation with her, like moments and experiences like that I have with people simultaneously throughout the day always puts me down like to a foundation level of just being so grateful. Grateful for my breath, grateful for my family's health, whether, whatever goes on in the background or not. That still doesn't mean I don't love them unconditionally. It still doesn't mean that I don't want them to be healthy. It still doesn't mean that I don't want them to do whatever's going to make them happy. No matter what they've done to me or this or that or that. Like, I don't care. They know what they do. People know what they do. It makes no difference to me. is not going to change who I am